Hello everybody, this is Brett Darian here, and today I'm going to take you back to the past. Back to a time before when everyone had a digital camera in their pocket, and even before digital photos at all, really. Because back in the day, when you took a picture, you had to have it developed on film, and you had to go someplace to have that film developed. And one of those places was Walmart. And that's what me and my family did. See, I got a few family photos here on Walmart CDs. Like there's this one here. And these are all from like the year 2000, I believe. Yeah, this is from June of 2000. And this is also from June of 2000. And so how this worked was you put the disc in, and it would pretty much be like a digital photo album. You can flip through it and copy photos and whatever. And it also used Microsoft's Picture It Express 2000. However, there were a couple of albums that we had developed that did not come on CD. They came on floppy disks. Like this one here. This is a Fujifilm MF2HD. Floppy disk, of course, only hold 1.44 megabytes, so these photos are, they're not very high resolution, but there's still several of them on here. And here's the other one here. This is on a red disc. So, but the problem I have though is that, well, I have not accessed these photos in a very long time, and in general, people don't use floppy disks anymore. But I still wanted to access these photos and copy them to another usable source. So I did go online and I found this USB floppy disk drive. This is a Dell floppy disk drive. I'm not sure what year this is from. This probably came with some kind of Dell laptop or something, or maybe they sold this separately. But I hooked this up to my current laptop, which just so happens to also be a Dell. And unfortunately, it could not read from either disk. So I'm going to show that to you right now. I'm going to pop this in and we'll find out. Alright, so here I am on Windows 98. So now I'm going to plug in the floppy disk drive. There you go, it is plugged in. So now it should pop up here. Yep. There it is right there. It's the G drive. So let's pop in that yellow floppy disk. And we'll see if it works. Okay, let's see. It looks like it might be working this time. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe. Yeah, this is what I remember happening last time. Like, it might bring up some of the files here, but then when you try to access them, it just kind of locks up. And so now it's completely unresponsive. So I'm going to call that a failure. Alright, so let's try the other one. And this one here looks like it may have a little bit of rust on it, but I don't think that's actually rust. That's probably just the label kind of fading into the plastic. But I mean, these discs were stored in an unfavorable environment, so you never know. But anyway, so put the disc in. And let's try to read from this one. Alright, so once again we get the these files, but let's try to access the pictures. And so again, when you try to access the pictures, it just seems like it's struggling to read the disk. And so now it says the system cannot read from the specified device. So I'm going to call that a failure as well. Now I do have another set of disks here, and these disks are just about as old as those other couple of disks. And these are already pre-formatted and they're all blank, but let's try formatting one of these disks using that Dell drive and see if it'll format. Alright, so let's put in the newer disk. And here it is. You see this one is blank. But now let's try to format it. And this is just to potentially prove that the disk drive is still working correctly. So we're going to do a full format here. And I'll try and time it and see how long it takes. I'll just use the date and time setting here on the computer to see how long it takes to format. Alright, there we go. So that took about 2 minutes for it to format. But it did completely format. So it seems like this drive is functioning properly. But I'm not ready to give up yet. So now I've booted into Windows XP. And let's try copying a file to that disk that we formatted. And we'll see if that'll work. So what I'm going to do is, here's the floppy drive here. It should be able to read from it. Well, it says it's not formatted, even though we did format it in Windows 98. So I don't know, maybe that's the indication that something's wrong, but we'll format it anyway. We'll just do a quick format this time. It says unable to complete the format. That's interesting, because this is the same disk I formatted with Windows 98. Let's try another one. Let's see, blue's my favorite color, so let's try that one. It says it was unable to complete the format. Well, I don't know why it formatted in Windows 98, but not in Windows XP. Let's try that Walmart disk again. In Windows XP. It says it is not formatted. I don't want to format this disk though, because I don't want the data to be erased, even though it very well may not format it anyway, because I wasn't able to format the others. So at this point, anything's possible. It could be the disks may all be bad, or maybe the disk drive is bad and it's not formatting or reading properly. So I want to do one more thing. Let's try another drive altogether. Introducing the Sony MPF88E. This is a floppy disk drive that claims to read and write at twice the speed of a typical floppy drive. And it's compatible with Windows XP, though I've also have seen people comment and say that they've gotten this drive to work on modern Windows, even Windows 11. Of course, it's USB powered, and even comes with these two separate covers here. One is pearl white and the other is sapphire blue. And it's compatible with Mac OS as well. And these are the features here. They really emphasized that it's USB powered and that it's fully compatible with USB. It includes a CD-ROM software driver, a user's manual, warranty card, changeable color panels, and of course the drive itself. And those are the specifications there. And copyright 2003, floppy disk, made in China, of course. I actually saw this drive featured on V Westlife's channel, so feel free to check out his video if you want to see more details about this drive. I was also lucky enough to get mine in the original box, so let's just open it up and let's see if this drive works any better than the Dell one. So let's see what we get inside. And that's everything in this little plastic sleeve. So out comes the drive. Along with the USB cord. And there's that swappable plate. Software disk. Instruction manual. And a couple of warranty cards. So this drive looks like it may not have been used that much. And it even comes with the vertical stand as well. And this looks like it wasn't even opened. Well, okay, it comes out the other end. But still, this looks like it was barely used. Yeah, I mean, it looks in very good shape. Manufactured December 2005. Though I have seen people say that theirs has been as late as 2009, so apparently they made this drive for several years. Alright, well let's plug it up and let's try it out. Alright, plugging in the Sony floppy disk drive. And Windows XP does not need a separate driver, so you don't have to insert the disk. It's just plug and play. So first, let's try that floppy that we formatted with Windows 98. And again, it says it's not formatted. Let's see if it'll format. Okay, it says it was unable to complete the format. So far, no cigar. Let's try those Walmart discs. Alright, let's try the red one this time. It's a moment of truth. Okay, there's the files, but let's see if it'll access them. Oh! Well, we're getting somewhere now. Alright. We do have success so far with this disk. And the files are being read. Alright, it's time for the yellow one. Let's see if this one works. Uh-oh. It says it's not formatted. Well, that's not good. It will not access the files at all. Let's take a closer look at the disk. You can see there it looks pretty clean. Like you don't see any dirt on it or anything. And I don't want to touch the disk itself, but I mean, you know, nothing looks wrong with the disk. But I guess it is possible for, you know, floppy disks to, you know, corrupt over time, maybe if they sit for a long time. I don't know. Let's try it again, but it's probably not going to work. All right, one more try. Yeah. So I guess it thinks it's a brand new disk that is not formatted. And if I go to properties, yeah, it thinks there's nothing on the disk. It thinks it's just a blank disk. There's no data, there's no nothing. It's completely unformatted. But it seems like at least this red one, I might at least be able to salvage the photos from this disk. And there's the old classic Walmart logo. Yep. So this disk is working okay. And in case you're wondering, these photos are all 768 by 512 resolution. So just slightly better than VGA quality. Alright, one more try with that blue disk. And let's try to format this one. Alright, it seems like this disk is formatting. It's making a lot of noise while doing it too. I'm just going to give up on that because it seems like it's going to take a really long time to format. Let's try and see if it'll do a quick format. Yeah, it says it was unable to complete the format. Let's see if red is my lucky color. Well, this one does seem to be formatting more normally. It doesn't sound as loud either. Alright, well I'm just gonna give it a rest. Okay, now I'm back on Windows 98, and let's try that yellow disk one more time. It just says the system cannot read from the specified device. And if we put the red disk in, which was working in Windows XP, and yeah, that comes right up. and for some reason I have to keep unclicking the view as web page here for the files to come up, but yeah, the files are all there. So the red disk is working, but the yellow one is not, unfortunately. Speaking of yellow though, let's put in a yellow Fujifilm disk and try formatting that on Windows 98. I mean, that took a little while to pop up, but we'll try doing a full format and see what happens. Well, it looks like it is formatting. Okay, well, it did format successfully, but it still took about 2 minutes. So it didn't really format any faster than the Dell drive. So in my experience, this Sony drive is not really any faster. Although at least it is reading one of the Walmart discs, whereas the Dell drive wasn't. Alright, let's try writing a file to the disk we just formatted. I just wrote this little quick little message here in Microsoft Word, and just to make the file size a little larger, I'll just try typing a bunch of gibberish. Alright, so now we'll save it, and we'll save in the G drive, which is the floppy drive. Let's see if it'll write to it. Alright, well, it looks like it did. Let's pull it up here, see if it's on the disk. Yeah, there it is. So it seems like this disk is working properly. In Windows 98 anyway. Well, I'm not really sure what to think on this one. I do think this Sony drive did work a little better than the Dell drive. At least it was able to read from one of these Walmart floppy disks. But it does seem like this yellow one here is completely shot. Even though the disk still looks pretty good, it just seems like it's not readable anymore. So I guess the moral of the story is to back up your data, and if you have any old floppy disks laying around with important files on them, you may want to pop them in a drive and see if they still work, and if they do, then back those files up. But anyhow guys, I guess that'll do it for me for now, so thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.